Welcome to the morning after CFFL edition, week number 9. Another crazy week in the CFFL. We have a new number 1 again in the polls. We also have a new number 1. We'll have to see. The playoff picture is still very muddied, so we're not going to really take an in-depth look at it this week. That'll be next week, but on to the week that was in the CFFL. First of all, this week we saw Team LBM continue their mini win streak as they picked up a win over the Donkeys, 81-47. Jeremy Hill and Mark Ingram combined for 39 points for Team LBM. Ronnie Hillman had 14.5 for the Donkeys as they fall to 1-8 and now 4-18 since returning to the league. The Donkeys have been struggling. Gargoyles continued their playoff push as they moved into a tie for one of the final playoff spots as they take down the Black Dingoes, 78.5-58. Ryan Tannehill had 19.5 points for the Gargoyles, and Arian Foster before getting hurt at 11.5 points as he continues his good year when he's healthy this year for the Black Dingoes. The In Rogers We Trust continues to take on the number 1 playoff seed. They took down the Kongs 81-53.5. The Kongs run in the playoff run may come to an end this year as he's made the playoffs 3 straight years. This year it's looking like it might be an outside shot for the Kongs. They'll definitely have to win out to get a shot. Peyton Manning at 18.5 points, his steady contributions to the Kongs, but not enough. Joe Flacco led the In Rogers We Trust with 15 points. Also this week we saw the game of the week. The Badgers take down the Bruisers 78-59.5. Marshawn Lynch came back and had a good day, 18.5 points. In the modern day Leroy Horde, Matt Asiata had 22.5 points. I would call him Asiata since I had McKinnon. McKinnon got him down to the 1, and then Asiata would take it in, so that was frustrating. Wouldn't have probably mattered anyway, but depleted Bruisers put up a good fight, but not enough to take down the Badgers. The upset of the week as the 15-point underdog Horn Dogs took down the Bone Storm 79-74. The Bone Storm's tough luck year continues as they are one of the top scoring teams, but currently sit out of the playoffs. Jeremy Macklin had 20.5 points. Tom Brady continuing his mid-season rise, 23.5 points, but not enough. And finally this week, a rematch of Super Bowl 20. The Garbage Men take down the Cardinals 66-54.5. The Cardinals might have to win out to make the playoffs. Definitely have to win 3 out of 4. They're in a little bit of trouble. The Garbage Men currently tied for one of the last playoff spots. Andrew Luck, this year's MVP, had 24 points so far anyway. And Carson Palmer at 16.5 in a losing effort for the Cardinals. So that was the week that was. Again, there is one team at 7-2, 2 teams at 6-3, a lot of teams at 5-4 and 4-5, and then 2 teams that have less than 4 wins. So right now it's pretty tight in there. So we'll have to see how it plays out over the next couple weeks. This week's Player of the Week for the second straight week, which made my job easy in terms of getting a picture. Ben Roethlisberger, 31.5 points, 6 touchdowns for the second straight week, 340 yards this week, so he really slacked off compared to last week when he had 520. Just been on a heck of a run. Unfortunately for him, he's on the Garbage Men, and with Andrew Luck there, he's not going to see the playing field anytime soon. Walk of Shame this week went to Griff's Gargoyles' Ben Tate. 1 point on 10 carries for 3 yards. He has really struggled since since Alex Mack, their center, got hurt, which is a big injury. He has not performed terribly well the last couple weeks. So we'll have to see if he can turn it around for the Gargoyles. And here we have the Griff's Gripe. This week Griff takes a look at the San Francisco Giants and their mini dynasty they've had. They have won 3 world titles here in the last 5 years, currently waiting to upload or get the email up so I can read what Griff has to say. In the meantime, let's take a look at the free agent pickup of the week. Hard one this week. There really wasn't anyone who stood out. However, I'll give it to Mark Sanchez, who had 12 points this week, 202 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. However, he is now the starter for the Eagles due to the injury to Nick Foles. Not that he's a great player, but the Eagles do throw the ball a lot. So he'll probably end up being a guy that can, maybe make some things happen this year. Now that he's in there, and will be a decent bye week fill-in for most teams. Anyway, Griff's Gripe this week. San Francisco Giants won their third World Series in the last 5 years. Am I crazy? Is this the worst dynasty in the history of sports? It's amazing what one dominant pitcher can do for you in the playoffs. But someone should teach Bumgarner how to chug beer. Pouring 4 open beers all over your face and chest does not constitute chugging. At least it was crappy beer he wasted. It's true, yeah, they don't get a whole lot of hype. They're kind of a dull offensive team, but they do have some good pitchers. Pretty well-run organization, too. Can't complain, it's better than the Yankees, so I will not complain about that at all. Anyway, this week, let's now unveil our FCS rankings. This week, we do have a new number 1 as Bites' Badgers retake over the number 1 spot. In Rogers, we trust at 2. The Dingoes fall to 3. The Bruisers fall to 4. The Horn Dogs move up to 5. Looking at those teams, you would assume those 5 teams will be in the playoffs, but you never know for sure. Next up, we have Griff's Gargoyles move from number 8 to number 6. Bone Storm move from 5 to 7. Garbage Men move up from 9. Cardinals fall from 7 down to 9. Their season is in a little bit of trouble right now. Team LBM is still at number 10. The Kongs and Donkeys rounding out the poll, with also receiving some votes this week. Next week we will talk about, we'll take a look at the playoff picture a little more in depth, kind of compare the teams' records, what everyone has left, points, and how it looks. Also a reminder, next Wednesday is the trade deadline, so you have 8 days from right now. Today is Tuesday the 4th. To get that done, I'll put a note on the main page too. So if you have any trades you want to make, if you wanted me to trade someone that you don't expect to be good, you never know, they probably will just go off. Mark Ingram, Shane Green's been pretty good since I traded him too, due to injuries. So yeah, although Gronk hasn't been bad, I can't complain. That was a pretty fair trade for both teams. Finally, let's take a look at the week ahead. We have In Rogers We Trust versus the Badgers, 7-2 versus 6-3, a battle for the top seed, possibly in the playoffs. And a rivalry game here as the Gargoyles take on Team LBM. Team LBM has circled this game since the draft, and they're going to be looking forward to keeping themselves in the playoff race. So that is it for the morning after. I will see you all next Tuesday after week number 10. Hopefully the Cardinals have moved to 5-5, and we take down the Black Dingoes. So good luck to all this week, and see you next week. Bye.